Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. This is Joe with the LSA, and I'd like to welcome all of you to our webinar series. Today's webinar is titled The Benefits of Do-It-For-Me Digital Solutions, and will be brought to you by our guest presenters, Vince and Kevin from Beyond Private Label, and Stacy from BIA Kelsey. So with that, let's get started. Over to you, Vince.
So today, Kevin and I and Stacy wanted to kind of walk through the process of, digital products, digital agencies, fulfillment, and some opportunity out there. And Stacy's going to talk about the opportunity in a second here. But I did want to give you a little background about Beyond Private Label. We have been creating websites for over 9 years now in a white labeled fulfillment fashion. We are customer facing, so we do all of our fulfillment for our partners, and we talk directly to those SMBs so that therefore our partners don't have any overhead and have to have their team be the middleman. All of our employees are 100% onshore in office right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The reason why we do that is we are 100% accountable to our partners and their clients, and the only way we can make sure of that is to have our team on staff in our office. We have a one-and-done mentality, and that one-and-done mentality makes sure that when your client calls us, their questions, updates are handled in real time, and they're not going to be passed along to 4 or 5 different people. That level of customer service goes a long way and really turns out to have a client be a long-term client. Anything you want to add to that, Kevin?
No, I think you got it, Vince. Really when you look at the digital product fulfillment and dealing with small business customers, and specifically the do-it-for-me or do-it-with-me model, all of our associates, our account representatives, our digital champion team, are all on board of giving 10 times the value, providing that small business owner with great customer service. And we know from a lot of our print partners that as long as we continue to provide that service and help that small business owner become more successful, we are creating lifelong paying clients for our partners. And that really, when you look at the goal on picking a vendor or a partner or a digital team to help with that fulfillment, that is the most important thing when analyzing that, is needing and having the capability to provide that exceptional customer service and helping these small business owners become more successful.
Great point, Kevin. So I want to pass it over to Stacy here, and she's going to walk through some statistical items that BIA Kelsey has put together.
All right. Thank you, Kevin and Vince. Hello, everybody. Before I jump into the next set of slides, I do want to give you a brief overview of methodology. I do have methodology slides included in the appendix, but on the front end, BIA Kelsey does a survey, which we started in 1999. We survey SMBs across the country, and we ask a series of questions about media usage, media allocation, etc. So the information that I'll share with you today is from our most recent local commerce monitor, which we refer to as LCM in the deck, LCM 18. So next slide, please. We're talking about digital, but we like to start with looking at total media spend in the industry. And over the next 5 years, we're projecting that total media spend will stay a little bit flat. On the traditional side, which is represented by blue, we're actually seeing a slight decrease. And on the digital side, we're seeing some share shift and seeing an increase. On the right-hand side of this slide, in the green shaded area, you can see an acronym CAGR, that's compounded annual growth rate, and that's really a mathematical formula that we use to refer to an increase over a 5-year increment. So for our purposes, I'll just say increase. So we are seeing over the next 5 years 3% total media growth. We're seeing a 12.2% online or digital media growth, and traditional media, as mentioned earlier, we're seeing a slight decrease at about 0.5%. Next slide, please. So that's how it looks at the industry level. If we dig down deeper into the SMB level, the digital share of wallet is actually continuing to increase by about 3%. So this slide shows you the past couple surveys that we've had. 2011, SMBs were spending almost 24% of their wallet on digital, and through 2014, we saw an increase to 30.8%, and we are projecting, based on feedback from LCM 18, that SMBs will spend an additional 3% for digital marketing and advertising over the next 12 months. Next slide. So they're spending more money, but the landscape is fragmented. And for those of you who are in the media space, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Tons of fragmentation in the industry. This is our total ad distribution for SMB advertisers. Now, we do in our survey actually identify SMB advertisers by spend, so we can do a core spend or a plus spend. The information that you're looking at now is an average of the two. So on average, the SMBs that responded to our survey are spending just under $36,000 annually on their marketing and advertising needs. That spend is actually being allocated or distributed on average into 7.4 channels. So when we talk about fragmentation in the industry, it is a real issue for us. Now, the good news is we capture 13 different channels in our survey. Of those channels, 6 of them are digital. So if you're in the digital space, this is good news for you. The next 3 slides that I'll go through will actually address the top 3 items on this distribution grid. We'll talk about social, we'll talk about other online. So social here is represented by red at 19.3%. We'll talk about the other online category, which is represented in green at 22.8%. And we'll also talk about mobile, which is represented by another shade of red at 4.2%. Next slide, please. The good news for those of you who are using social media, reselling social media, you are on target with SMBs who are trying to reach audiences. Social media is the #1 tool in terms of reach. We have almost 75% of the SMBs who responded to the survey using social media to reach their audiences, and it also represents almost a quarter of their spend. So on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see that SMBs are spending almost 22% of their total budget on social media. Next slide, please. So the next item that we talked about on that distribution chart is online presence. And the way we captured it in 18, it was other online. But online presence is web development, reputation management. So you can see from this slide that SMBs are spending almost $6,000 of their budget to maintain their online presence. And that actually represents almost 38% of the respondees. So there are quite a few people who, despite you may having the experience of a client saying their nephew or their son or their uncle can build and maintain their website for them, 33% of SMBs responded that they do actually pay to maintain their online presence. Next slide, please. And then the third distribution channel is mobile, and Mike Boland, if you're familiar, he over the past couple conferences has said every year we talk about this is the year of mobile, and we're going to say that again. This is the year for mobile. Mobile advertising represents the 4th largest local media channel, and we expect this to rise to just over 11% of total local media by 2019. Next slide, please. So overall spend is flat. Traditional media is down a bit. We're seeing an increase in share for digital. We know that there's fragmentation in the industry, but we just talked about the three top channels, that being social, online presence, and mobile. So where are folks buying their online ads? I think this is good news for everybody who's on the call. The first column on the left, and it's cut off a little bit on the slide, 34.6%. That represents people who purchase their ads themselves. So this is the do-it-yourself category. Almost 35% of respondees like to purchase their online ads themselves. But everything to the right of that, we have print and internet yellow pages, we have newspapers, we had advertising, digital agencies. The column right after ad and digital is purchase with assistance from others. So this is the do it for me or do it with me category. Everything that follows to the right of do it yourself represents folks who want to do business with people who can assist them with their online advertising. Next slide, please. So that really begs the question of service model. So we have a clear do-it-yourself contingent, but we do also have a lively discussion around, is there a do-it-for-me service model, or is it really a do-it-with-me service model? Next slide, please. One of the things that we do agree on, and again, we've had this conversation both in insight papers and blog posts and on stage at our conferences with some of our partners in the community. So the do-it-yourself is largely driven by people who don't have the budget to work with service providers to either do it for me or do it with me. So the key takeaway from all of us who are engaged in this conversation is that your clients are either going to, your SMB clients are either going to have to pay in time or in money. And so that's the very clear trade-off. This slide here represents how our SMBs responded to the question, what is the preferred model when working with service providers? 37% prefer do-it-yourself, but if you look at the red and the teal portions of the pie, almost 50% prefer to work with a service provider who can do it with me or do it for me. Next slide, please. So we're going to focus on the folks who want to have assistance to do it with me or do it for me. And these are the top 10 popular media for folks who do want assistance with their online marketing and advertising needs. And you can see we start here on my right. Almost 50% of people are looking to build Facebook pages. For those of you who have built Facebook pages for SMBs or have to fix Facebook pages for SMBs, you can understand why that number is so high. Moving to the right, we go into website. So that's website development and maintenance. That's where online presence comes in. We move into another social media channel, LinkedIn, and then we go into some targeted marketing, email marketing, and direct mail. And then we get into some areas that a lot of SMBs aren't good at, sponsorships and giveaways on the far right. And again, good news for any newspaper folks on the call. We do have 30% of respondents who like to work with newspapers. So we've talked about what the top 10 popular media are for the service model of do it for me, do it with me. But in general, we do always ask our SMB respondents, what are your 12-month marketing priorities? And we actually have a very busy chart. We measure everything from very high priority to not a priority at all. But for your viewing benefit, we've weeded all of that out, and we're focusing on anything that came through as a very high priority, represented in blue, or extremely high priority, which is represented in red. And I don't think it's a surprise at all that 58% of respondents are focused on SEM and SEO. We go to the right from here. Print advertising is still a priority for folks. So although we see traditional media spend going down a tick, half a point over the next couple of years. People are still spending. We move over into email marketing, and that fourth column to my right is social media. So that's no surprise to us, given that it's one of the top channels on our distribution slide. And then we move into mobile advertising. Everything to the right of here is analytics and performance. We do have a category here for broadcast, video, and then discounts or loyalty programs. So when I hand it over to Kevin and Vince to talk about their services, I think this slide really sets up the next part of the conversation, that these are the priorities, and what the folks here at Beyond Private Label are going to talk about fit very nicely into the marketing priorities and into the preferred media for Do It With Me and Do It For Me services. So next slide, please. I mentioned at the top of my segment that I would include methodology. I won't go through this with you. You're welcome. But if we can advance through the next 3 slides, when you all get the deck, or even at the end of this webinar, if you have questions about methodology, we do have this outlined for you. Next slide. And here's more on the methodology. Next slide. More on the methodology. Again, you're welcome, but I'm not going to go through slide by slide. And next slide. What I did want to talk about is we do the survey every year, and we release the survey in conjunction with our SMB conference, which is in September. So in September, we'll be releasing the Local Commerce Monitor 19, and we have done a couple of things differently. One, we've increased our number of respondents, so we've almost doubled the number of respondents in the survey, and we've also paid a little bit more attention into how we break out the different channels. So instead of just broadly referring to other online, we have actually put a little rigor into the questions. So you can see the top bullet point that we actually in online are very specifically asking about search, about display ads, and about blogs. So the next time you hear us on a webinar after September, it will be all brand new data. Next slide. And this is me. If you want to put a face to the voice, I know I'll be speaking with some of you at the end of the webinar to answer any questions you might have. With that, Kevin and Vince, it's all yours.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stacy. So, Stacy showed a lot of opportunity there for, what the public and what the SMBs out there are needing help with, and what products that they're going to go out and get, this year into the, Q1, Q2 of 2016. Beyond private label, what we have done is we've really mastered working as a fulfillment partner for a lot of channel partners out there to help do all the heavy lifting, do all of the customer service, do all the support, and obviously do all the fulfillment for these digital products, so that allows our channel partners to go out, sell these products, send the orders to us, they wipe their hands clean with it, and they start making bottom line income because they no longer have any overhead. So as she stated, the Do It For Me or Do It With Me, that's where we come into play, because with the Do It With Me model is these people need consultative help. They want to have a little hands-on, but they don't know everything they need to do. They don't know everything. They don't know how to do it. So they need that consultative nature. So that's when our account managers have kickoff calls or consultation calls with their clients, they're educators, right? We've done business with every industry out there, no matter if it's a website, SEM, SEO, and all the others. We know what they need. We know what to do to help them be successful. And that's where that consultative nature comes in. And that's why I think a lot of these statistics that were put out were, not only just do it for me, but do it with me. I want to do some of this myself. I want, my kids to help. I want my associates to help, but we just don't know if we're doing it correctly. Right, Vince, let me just add to that, Vince, if I could. I talked earlier about providing that customer service, and what gets me excited, and when I go out and we train sales reps and we talk to business owners, is once a business owner is convinced, us as sales reps, you guys as consultants care about the success of their business, they are a lifelong paying client of yours. And that, again, is the goal. Every time we as a partner, as that consultants, when we deal with small business clients, I talk about providing them with 10 times the level of service than what they are paying you for. And when we get sales reps that understand that, and they understand the need for businesses that need help with these products, we start to see a lot of traction. Vince is going to talk about our sales training and support and our digital champion team in a minute, but understanding when we're dealing with sales reps, it's all about getting them confident, getting them the capability to go out and become consultants and talk to these business owners. And again, once that business owner understands you care about their success, they're always going to pay you. They're not going to look, the next slide we're going to talk about expanding existing relationships, but most importantly, how do we attract new clients? How do we do business with today with that small business owner for whatever reason won't do business with us? That's what we really need to focus on is, again, how do we deal with that new client? How do we expand existing relationships? And most importantly, how do we get our sales reps educated and confident enough to go out and talk about these products?
Yeah, so here's the slide Kevin was mentioning. This is a shameless plug that we were able to, we got from one of our partners out of BD Media in Colorado. I just want to focus on the bold verbiage here, and it says, these products are opening new doors and helping expand existing relationships. That's what these digital products are doing today. They are keeping that door wide open, and I don't care if it's just a small margin product such as a website. If you were able to sell a client a website, you can go back in at any time. Your sales reps can go back in at any time and talk to that decision maker because we're hosting their website. We're in charge of their website. So we can go back and always talk about our core products and continuously get them engaged because, again, we are the ones in charge of that website. But expanding, so that, go ahead, Kevin.
And we just had an example happen last week with a partner out in Washington. They were running print for a client for about 3 months at $1,000 a month. They looked at the analytics and they decided, you know what, for whatever reason, the print isn't working for the client. So instead of going in there and saying, hey, Mr. Client, we understand your print hasn't performed the way you wanted it to the last 3 months. What I'm going to do is take that $1,000 a month and put it in an SEM campaign. Giving more tools to be able to help these clients, and the customer was ecstatic about it. Great, we're going to spend $1,000 a month. This is my budget. Let's revisit the print at another time. Let's stick this $1,000 in an SEM campaign, and the campaign's been performing greatly for them. So that, again, is just another example of having more tools. That rep was confident enough to get our digital champion teams on the phone, come up with a proposal, a budget estimate for them, and provide another solution to help that business owner.
It's a great example because it allowed him to retain that client. And obviously retention is huge in any business. But that retention is now keeps that door wide open, keeps that relationship as it is a current relationship, and allows that rep to go back at any time and talk to that decision maker. So, we offer all digital products. We help the fulfillment help with all digital products out there. Again, we are white labeled. Our name isn't on any product that we offer or sell. When we talk to your clients, we are you. We have branded emails. We have branded phone numbers. And we are customer facing. That's the big one here. We do not need your team to be the middleman in between your client and us. We are going to contact your client as you, and we're going to take that middleman out of there. Again, that just helps with there not being any overhead on your end. And allows us to handle that from start to finish and into perpetuity, because we will support that as an ongoing basis.
Right. Just to elaborate on that middleman piece, we don't want to take sales reps away from their job, right? They're sales reps. We don't want them to be customer service representatives. Our team, our account reps, our digital champion teams, our model is set up for our partners to go out and scale these products. Go out and help more customers. Once you sell it, we, as your new internal digital development team, fulfillment team, whatever you want to call us, we handle all the work from the minute the time that product is sold. So I want to emphasize that again, is the biggest thing is sales reps. We try to get in the middle of, doing the customer service, and that's not the focus. The focus is for these sales reps, go out and help new customers. Go out and talk to your old clients and offer them new products. So I just wanted to add that, Vince.
Got it. So just kind of piggyback off of what Kevin said there, we are doing all the work. We are doing all the heavy lifting. Your sales rep, they process the order, they send it to us, and we take it from there. Each and every product that we do fulfillment for, that's how this works. We are not going to ask your team to be the middleman. We're not going to ask that you provide us an account manager. We will take everything over on our end from start to finish. A couple of things I do want to mention just in regards to the websites. We write the content for our clients for our websites. Allows us to get these websites done in a timely fashion and get them completed and put live. That's one of our big differentiators on that, as well as another differentiator on our websites. While we host the website, we make unlimited text changes and up to 25 image changes a month. Now, 99.9% of your clients are never going to hit that 25 image limit, but we do have someone out there that sends us a flash file of 4,000 images every now and then, so we had to put a cap onto it. But that is back to our entrepreneurial mindset and our consultative nature. We do not want to charge your clients $100 to add a July 4th coupon and then charge them another $100 to remove it. It only takes us a minute to add it. So why are we charging $200 to add and remove a coupon? Obviously a lot of web firms do that. That's how they make the majority of their dollars. For us to not charge for these changes allows your client to be fully engaged with their website, make ongoing monthly changes to their website, keeping it fresh, keeping their coupons up there, keeping their ads up there, whatever it may be, and not getting charged for it. If they have a great website, it's successful, and they're not getting pinged every time they want to make a change, they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. One big thing on the bottom that I just want to mention is you own the customer relationship. Okay. Again, we don't exist, so these customers are your customers. And we do this often, when we upsell a client to a larger SEM budget, a larger website package, whatever it may be, we contact the sales rep back and say, hey, Mr. Sales Rep, I got Kevin here from Kevin's Roofing. He wants to up his budget from $1,000 on an SEM budget to $2,000. Can you process that order and get back to me? It's a warm transfer. We have the client on the phone. We call the sales rep, and we do that. Why do we do that? Because we don't take billing. We don't do billing. We don't do retail. We're not going to come into your market and sell against you. Okay? Anything you want to touch on that, Kevin?
No, the biggest thing, again, that these are your clients. The billing, the funds flow, the relationship, these are your clients. These are our partners' clients. That and the no retail aspect. We do maybe 1% of our business comes from retail, but that is a referral of someone that knows we're in the business. 99.5% of everything we do comes from our partners. So we're not sending sales reps in your markets to compete against you. We want to do everything we can, again, as I touched on before, to get the sales reps confident, comfortable talking about these products, leaning on us, and we're going to get into that in a second, and allowing us as the experts to come in and help your sales reps close these deals.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the training and the support that we offer to all of our channel partners. This training and support is going to allow you guys to keep the sales force you have, get them educated on these new products, and get them out there as a trusted advisors and selling these products that people need help with. You do not have to go out and hire DMCs. We're going to help you. We're going to coach your reps, and we're going to talk about our digital champion support lifeline in a second here. But our digital champions really are your DMCs, but with no overhead. Okay? So what we do is we always start off with a learning management system. It's an online course. It goes through websites, SEM, whatever products that that you would like to start with. We have the learning management system for that. It's 15 chapters, or it's the chapters are about 15 minutes each. The SEM might be maybe about 20 minutes each. But once your reps go through those chapters, we then have a webinar, and we answer any questions they have. We then set up a larger webinar to go through more of a high-level sales process and talk to them about that. Once we get your reps trained, we educate them on the support system. Our support system is what we call our digital champions. These are your DMCs, but they're not on your books, okay? They are digital champions, and their only job is to answer phone calls and emails from sales reps, and when a sales rep is with a client. They are there to answer any question. They're there to critique anybody's website. They're there to run SEM estimates. They're there to critique a website's SEO, critique someone's social media presence online. They're there to do everything that needs to be done to sell that product. We all know that a lot of our sales reps don't like to do a lot of pre-sales. Okay, allow us to do the pre-sales for you, and that can be done via email or phone. So do you want an SEM estimate for Kevin's Roofing in Cincinnati? Send the digital champions an email. Hey, can you send me an SEM estimate for this client, Kevin's Roofer? He is a roofer in Cincinnati, and we will send that rep back an SEM estimate for Kevin's Roofing. It does not get easier than that. We're not asking your sales rep, like Kevin mentioned earlier, to take time out of selling. Okay, we're not going to ask them to take the 5-10 minutes to run this SEM estimate. We will do it for them. Same thing with a website. You want us to critique a website, send us the web address, we'll critique it for you. We will tell you how bad your client's website is. We will tell them how we can make it better, and we will tell them what package that we think that they need. Now, if your rep goes and talks to the client and the client has any questions, pick up the phone, call the digital champions. You will get those questions answered in real time. What we stress is do not leave the premises and call us, and then you have to go back. Call your digital champions. Prove to your client you have a team of experts back at the office that can help handle these types of questions and handle these types of products. We closed a lot of deals. Our digital champions close a lot of deals on a daily basis for a lot of sales reps, and those sales reps are the ones making the commission. Our digital champions do not make the commission. We have yet to find a partner that's willing to give our digital champions commission. One of you out there could be the first.
Vince, I doubt it. Vince always brings this up every time we do one of these, and I keep telling him it's not going to happen, but I give you credit for trying, Vince.
But we have to try.
I agree.
But it doesn't, getting sales reps out there comfortable with the product, knowing that they have a support lifeline at their fingertips, allows them to go out there and talk in confidence about these products. Because again, if a question comes up that they're not 100% sure of, they could pick up the phone and call that digital champ. Right. That is the beauty of Beyond Private Label, and that's why we have been so successful doing this, for over 8 years now, is one, that consultative nature, but then also that support lifeline that we give sales reps. This allows our partners not to have to go out and hire new sales team, DMCs, and so forth.
Right, and what's exciting to us, I'm on the overflow calls where I talk to, a lot of different sales reps, and I talk to a lot of different businesses. And what's exciting to me is after you talk to a rep and you talk to a business owner, maybe that day, the next day, you get an order. And then that sales rep calls you and thanks you, and that's how they experience that one time, that level of service that we offer and that consultative nature that we offer and dealing with these small businesses, once they experience that, what happens? Their confidence rises, right? I like to talk about confidence a lot. Once we get sales reps confident, they'll sell anything. And that's what it comes down to. And, you know, some of you might be thinking, well, what products do we start with? Or, you know, I want to get into the space, but I don't know what to start to sell. What do my customers need help with? My suggestion would be start with a couple. Get your sales reps confident, get them realizing the opportunity, and as that confidence increases, then we can introduce more products. But the last thing we want to do is take a traditional print rep or someone that has absolutely no experience, give them 20 new products in his bag and expect them to get trained, right? We all know that's not going to happen. Human nature is if we're not knowledgeable or confident about something, we shy away from it. So start small, start with the products that were discussed earlier, with the statistics, what business owners are going to be buying, and as that confidence increases, then we can add more products.
And yesterday, I just want to bring this up because of the support and because of the training. We got an email yesterday at 1:49. I didn't have time to put it in here, but it was from a rep. And the rep says, you guys have been a pleasure to work with. I was very skeptical and nervous about approaching these products, but you and your team have made this learning process fun and easy.
Right.
Okay, so we know we're dealing with some legacy print reps or some print reps out there that may be a little skeptical. We are going to help them, we are going to train them, and we are going to support them into perpetuity. It's not, here are a bunch of products, here's a bunch of training materials, best of luck. Okay, we are invested. We have digital champions, again, that are on call just to answer your sales reps' questions. You know, I always tell people, use them and abuse them. They don't like to hear that, but that's what it has to be. So another thing, we'll also provide branded materials for you and your sales team. So that therefore, you know, again, this is a full turnkey solution. Those materials look something like this. You know, we can manipulate the pricing, manipulate the color branding. On the very bottom of these materials, we always put, you know, you could put your client or your rep's name, phone number, and email address so that therefore they can go back and leave these as leave behinds. We have about a 2-week implementation plan. We don't charge any setup fees. To do business with us. You know, we again are invested in as long as management with our channel partner is invested to go out and take these products to market, we're going to go ahead and do everything we can to make that a successful transition. We're going to provide your sales rep, again, login details for the LMS. We're going to set up webinar dates. We're going to go ahead and create the marketing materials, sales materials. We're going to process and handle those webinars. If it makes sense to come do some on-location training, we can definitely do that. Do some four-legged sales calls with your reps, and just start selling.
So I just want to thank our panel for conducting today's webinar, and thanks to all of you for attending today. Like I said, if you have any further questions or would like to be connected with today's speakers, simply email us at webinars@thelsa.org. Also, for a look at what's coming and to access all of our past webinars, visit www.thelsa.org/webinars. So with that, thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.